Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on here real quick before the episode started and apologize for my audio quality for my voice. The program that we were using decided that it didn't like that another program was competing for the computer's attention, so it was going to punish me by deleting my audio track while keeping everybody else's fine. At some point in time while the episode was recording, it did that. I didn't catch it, and so we lost all of my audio. So we had to try and pull my voice from all the other mics in the room when people weren't talking. That's why it kind of sounds a little choppy and distant. So again, I apologize for that, but everybody else's voice is fine. You can hear everybody else clearly, so please check this episode out. It's a really great one, really good for Mansfield, really good for the community, and skateboarding rules. And I appreciate the Breakfast Club for coming on and chatting with me today, so check it out. Without further ado. The Open Mic Podcast. The Open Mic Podcast. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Open Mic Podcast with me, your host, Tom Hirst, brought to you by Richland Source and Newsroom After Hours. Today we have the Breakfast Club partying with us in the studio. If I'm allowed to call you guys that by the official dumb naming of said group of city officials that hang out together on the low key every once in a while, right? Yeah. Perfect. We're going to talk about the skate park today, guys. If you can introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, my name is Aurelio Diaz. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Aurelio.
Tony Vero.
Hi, Tony.
We're doing short introductions, I see.
Jody's ready with her paragraph.
I'm Jody Perry.
I'm Jen Keim.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
So, all right. So, you guys help the boys out start all of this whole skate park hoopla over there that people have been hollering about for a while. And tell me about it. We finally got to the point of the skate park. Right? Yeah, we're actually there.
Yeah, we come a long way because ever since the Mansfield Rising, the post Mansfield Rising, and then 2019, the skate park conversation was a big focal point for quite some time, and I think that there was a lot of support for it. A lot of people rallied for possibility of having it, but then when it came to City Council, at the time it was voted down. So then we had COVID happen, and then it, with the demolition of Westinghouse.
Do you want the real origin story? Because I think you know the real origin story. So,
but yeah, after the
we could do
the slab.
All right, then we'll get into what really happened.
Yeah. So after then the slab was sort of the official skating spot in Westinghouse. After that was no longer available, then that's when folks from all walks of life came together.
Oh, politicians! You said it so well, so professional.
Public servants.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we're public servants. Forgive me. And with Jennifer and Jody's recent elections,
these are all official.
You got all four. It's like a whole student
council.
It's a whole student council from Breakfast Club, apparently.
Gosh, this is a powerful group.
And there's also, we don't call ourselves the Breakfast Club, by the way. Like, there's a story. I'm going to let Jody clarify. And actually, Jay Allred, who works in this building, was part of that. So we certainly want to make it known. We don't go around calling ourselves a club.
No.
We are children of the 80s and 90s, and we love movies. And we're missing a member today who's, I believe, under the weather, so that's why we're just four.
Mr. Bianchi, engineer.
Bob Bianchi's not here today. We were all out for lunch one day, and Jay Allred, again, who works here, saw us and kind of stopped. He's like, "You guys? Like, what? You guys are friends?" And he's like, "Really? Vero and Keim are friends?" Because you can't have too much and I think you just missed it out there if you're recording. I mean, Jen and I can't be in a room within 5 minutes without us disagreeing about something.
We can agree on that.
We can agree on that. And Jay's like, really? You 5? And I was like, yeah, it's kind of like the Breakfast Club, huh? And then I think Jody can explain it a lot better than me. But
Well, I mean that's really it. The Breakfast Club was what, a group of 5 people that were thrown in detention together. I'm not sure we quite had that part, but unlikely group, all very different. And I think, one of the fun things about the friendship has just been that we are all different. We all see things differently. We maybe argue about that once in a great while. But, I will say for sure being friends with all 4 of these guys has also helped push me a lot as a person, and just kind of, just when I think like, oh, we're all 5 gonna agree on something, someone's always an outlier, and it's like, oh, I never would have thought of that viewpoint. So, it's been fun. We sometimes can't agree on who is which character in the Breakfast Club. I think it changes a little bit, but
That's cool. It's good for the city then.
Yeah, it's good for people to see like people. You can be friends with people who are different and make things happen. I think when people took that and ran with it, it's I think that's probably why. But obviously, it's not a club. We're all part of the same club, which is Team Mansfield.
I do think we agree. Jody's the princess.
She is the princess.
I mean, that's the one.
Jody's the princess.
Jody's the princess. So that's the one character we all agree on.
She's there now.
Right.
Exactly.
So I mean, it fits. Right. So, I mean, look at her.
Specific 1-to-1 correlation title. Mayor, princess.
Oh boy. Why am I friends with them? That's a really good question.
Yeah, we also do, we have life rankings from time to time. So, we can, the group jockeys as to who the coolest person is. And, Jody always comes in pretty high because, she is the princess. So.
That is actually a total lie. I just want to clarify that because Tony has life rankings and I am always dead last.
Jody's always last.
If it's a ranking that you would want to be ranked high on, I'm always the last person. Sometimes underneath some ranked underneath some very, very evil people in history. So,
Tanya Harding,
keeps me
stuff like that. But we love each other, and I think there's just a lot of power in just like that friendship, and also I think it's good for the community to see. I mean, because we talk a lot just nationally and locally. People need to come together and divisiveness, and I think when it happens naturally, good things can happen. And so that's I think how like the committee, Ori, Gage, and Tanner, and how they kind of seeing folks like them interact with folks like us, and make changes. But I know Tony really got thrusted into it, and Jen in not the best way, but they'll talk about how they pretty much they turned something they turned something really unsavory into savory. Was it New Year's Day?
It was New Year's Day weekend. Yeah, it was Sunday, and I think I told us we had a podcast recently with Jay. My wife goes, have you checked out social media lately? I try to stay away from social media, and I go, no, and she goes, there's some people who aren't really fans of you this morning. I'm like, well, that's no different than any other day. And I happen to, she's like, well, you better check Facebook and Instagram. So I go on Instagram, and I'm being tagged, like, I don't even know. We were involved in the Westinghouse. Ironically, Jen was probably on the side, if there's sides at that time, with not clearing up the site. I think wanted to see if we could save the building, right? We love buildings. We do love historic buildings. And I had no idea.
We do. As the royal we.
We
love.
We all love buildings. Just all the listeners out there, we never tear down buildings. We love them all.
Like twice if you're being held.
Right, yeah. So I was being tagged like, thanks a lot, Tony Vero. You ruined our community. I'm like, what? What did I do? And so I knew, obviously, the man of the people who are here, Aurelio. I was like, hey, Rills, do you want to tell me why I destroyed a skateboard community today?
Yeah, I think they tagged you and I.
They tagged you and Jen.
Downtown Mansfield.
What did we do together?
Like supporters. Yeah.
Right.
So I found out, now look, I knew there was skating going on out at Westinghouse from time to time. I'd been down there many times as we worked on the site. There weren't always people there. I didn't know there was a makeshift skate park on the site, okay? It certainly wasn't our intention to displace anyone. And when we tore the building down and announced the site cleanup, I think that made a few people upset.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I think they seen it as, because a lot of the folks, the skating community, didn't have the information. They didn't know what was going on, that this could be a positive thing, that this eyesore was going to be tore down. It was going to develop the downtown in a different way. Naturally, it's kind of like, hey, you know, they're taking our spot away. So I think we identified with what they were feeling, but I think they just blamed the wrong people. And that morning, it was people that we knew, like, well, they're being really nasty, and like, so it was a matter of us, okay, let's all meet and like introduce them with the villain Vero, who had nothing to do with, and Jen DMI, who was supporters from the start. And we knew that with Jody, with her involvement with the chamber and her running for mayor, and Bobby, who's involved with the city and infrastructure and everything, let's get these folks on board and let them know the skating community. So it was, I think we first met at, was it Relax?
I think it was Two Cousins.
Two Cousins, okay. And then we had previous meetings. First it was getting acquainted, but also what can we do? Clear up any confusion. Because it was easy to make a post about someone and everyone took it and ran. So that was the most frustrating thing, is like people were sharing these posts, but they weren't they weren't researching and stuff. So it was just sort of petty, but we got past it, and we had several meetings, in the city building, and like, what do you want? How can we help you and everything? But yeah.
I think interesting to me, because this is going to come as a real shock, but I didn't know a lot about the skating community.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're supposed to laugh at that. It's a shock, right? But what was really interesting was the whole DIY component of it, and that actually when we were talking, they're like, we don't need you to build a new skate park. We just want to let us have some property that we can do our own. And they, really had shown us what they had done on the slab. And so I think that was a really big eye-opening thing to me. Not that, eventually maybe you wouldn't want something coming along as a new build as well. But when we went into that meeting, I thought, we're just going to have to probably tell them, wait in line, we need money, all the things that we constantly seem to have to say sometimes. And they were like, no, just give us some space. They didn't even ask for money at the time. And it was just like, oh, and that was so much a part of the culture. I thought that was really cool, and I did not know that going into it.
If you recall, there was also a very well-known, again, shocking, I'm not in the skate community as well. I'm not going to shock some people.
Believe it.
I know, shocker. There's apparently a really nice DIY skate park in Canton.
Yeah.
And I happen to be from Canton. I had worked in city government in Canton for just a couple years in grad school. Yeah. And so I actually reached out to my contacts once we had the meeting at Relax to kind of put everyone on the same page. And I put them in touch with, I think, the Canton people, who I still think they bounced something. You would know more than me, Tom, but that was sort of the genesis, right? The social media tags and the meeting at 2. And then we met in the mayor's office, right? And I wanted them to name what they're going to create an LLC or something, maybe. I wanted them to name it Skate or Die, but they wouldn't do that. So remember, I kept trying to get them named that, but I know.
It was cool because you had Tony like doing a lot of research into different community skate parks, and then you had Tanner doing it. So it was a huge partnership. And then when we met multiple times, especially at the mayor's office, Mayor Thaker was obviously in support of it. Yeah. And what can we do to make it happen, quickly? And then, just trying to figure out if we're going to build it from the ground up or keep it as a DIY, which is obviously what happened, using an area that hasn't been used for a long time. Yeah,
well, it's cool. It kind of really highlights the things that you want the government to do. The best things of it. That just help us with this opportunity and let us run with it, and grease the wheels for us to actually get this thing moving, and we'll just do it. it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I think when they tagged us all in it that day, they probably didn't expect that we were actually supporters and would come to the table and be like, well, let's help do this, you know. And I think people just assume you're going to be against it or you're not going to be supportive, and
government and rock, skateboard,
exactly. And any group that's trying to do something that's different or unique, you don't expect the government to come in and go, how can we help you make this succeed? But the thing is, we all want what's great for Mansfield. So we all saw it as an opportunity to build something new and cool for something else that doesn't require, a 10-year waiting period and grant funding that's millions of dollars. Like, a lot of the stuff we work on is so far down the line and so big. And to have a group of people that were committed to building it themselves and managing it, like, we're so much further along. We can help make those things happen quicker.
It's like, 'cause I mean, when it blew over on, it was like I had my friends here, the Breakfast Club, and I had my friends skate community. I'm like, oh, my friends are fighting, it's kind of like, it was just like, I'm like, you guys are all really like each other, but I think what ultimately happened with this is, like, we didn't take control of it, I mean, like, we supported their vision, and they wanted, it's their project, we didn't take over and say, well, you need to do this, so it was important that the community saw that, we're just supporting them. They're taking the lead, and we're supporting them.
And music to any politician's ears are public servants, right?
Public
when
servants.
they're involved in budgeting too, there's no better words or phrase than "we don't need any money." So hey, wait, you don't need any money? You just need a spot. Sweet, it's yours. So, but it's a city park. I'm with the county. I was just kind of involved too because I was the Westinghouse piece and was originally the villain. So
you were.
You're such a natural villain.
Know,
it comes so easy.
It comes so easy. Just my wife. Sunday morning, I'm playing with my daughter. She's like, you're a big fan of the skate community, right? I'm like, really? What did I do to the skate community? So, and I knew Thorne, right? Which was right from when you guys worked at Relax. That's why I was sort of ticked off. Because I was like, Thorne. First off, I didn't know. I mean, we thought cleaning up the Westinghouse site was a good thing. I didn't know that it was a bad thing. Well, except to Jennifer, who got her fancy historic arch, and I had no idea that there was another community. I certainly loved Thorne and Tommy. So there may be an email out there where I wasn't so nice to Thorne after I got tagged. Really was laughing. There's nothing like a ticked off Italian on a Sunday morning. I was like, Thorne, you know me. You could call me. You don't have to tag me and say I ruined your life or anything.
Sons of Italy came out.
Sons of Italy, nothing like a ticked off Italian on a Sunday, right? It doesn't take much to tick us off too. So it was all in fun. Once we sat down, it was great.
And that was important because most people wouldn't come together and hash it out and move on. And I think what I really appreciate about it is, like, in spirit of Mansfield Rising and just how we're going, upward in your city and keeping everything not political, is having skaters and like Ori's entrepreneur and Gage is a millennial, planning things with our future mayor and our commissioner and Jen. It's like, that's what it's about. We talk about it so much, but that fact that we're doing it, I think, is important for people to see, young and old. So
absolutely. I don't even think Gage is a millennial. I think he's younger than that.
Is he Gen Z? Oh, I'm a millennial. He's a Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Okay.
I'm a millennial. Right. Sure you are.
He still is like
yeah, you're right.
16, 17-year-old
kid. Right?
Yes.
Let's kill Sam,
Tom, didn't he say recently he's getting too old to skate? I think I ran into him. I'm like, wait a minute, you're too old to skate? I mean, I think I see Allred once in a blue moon. I know Jay still thinks he can skate out there.
Yeah.
So, Gage's like, man, I'm getting a little old to skate. And I'm like, what are you, like 12? I mean, you can't skate. So.
Yeah,
it was funny.
He hurts his arm once, and then I'm too old for it. These kids don't get it.
I think what's been fun to watch is just how, really, we just kind of opened a few doors, and how much they have run with it. You're selling the apparel to raise money for it. You've got your first features in. I don't know what you call them. What is it? The rail. Thank you.
Oh, the rails. Yep. You got it.
Obviously, very, very much a skater.
Amenities.
But and then also, there's a skate shop coming. I mean, like, it really has really opened things up, and it has me, thinking, like, well, what other communities are out there that you know, are like that, or that, you know, maybe we're making assumptions about, but, you know, when we dug deeper, it was like, oh, you know,
this is actually something.
Right. And that the culture of the DIY was,
Well, that's
so I think that was fun.
I went out there earlier before the podcast because I keep forgetting to go over there. So I was like, oh, we're going to talk
What'd you
about
think?
That. I should actually go. So first off, I definitely had a misconception of the size and the space in general just from pictures. It is way more space than I thought, and it's very perfect for what they're wanting to do. I was kind of skeptical myself at first, but it's a perfect location. It's as far as even just the placement of where the tennis court is on top of that little hill. It's kind of removed from everything else, and it has a nice view, and there's just so much room for activities that it's really exciting. I think there's so much promise, especially with how dedicated those dudes are.
And the neighborhood loves it. The neighbors were in support of it. There's a group, Friends of Lberty. It's a group of volunteers who are very heavily involved there. They're partnering with Lberty DIY, and there's Rewild Lberty, which is a group of folks who are focusing on the flowers and just all the natural. So they're all coming together. So it's cool that all these doors are opening for them. So they're also helping these other volunteer groups.
Yeah, but I noticed there's so much space over there that's not being used.
It's huge.
My goodness, that field is massive.
Now, not all of that field is in. Some of that is privately owned.
Okay,
it's not all the park area, but
corner after the skate park, right? That big old corner there of that field.
The baseball diamond, you mean, or the
to the left of it? There's a massive field in between the skate park and the baseball field.
Yeah, there's a lot of land there. I mean, because before they used the land next to the skate park, it was for pee wee football or something. Is it pee wee football or pee wee baseball? It's like little kid football. Clearly, I don't know what sports. Shut up. Sports ball. So football. For little kids, but then
we call it Pop Warner football, just as some of us do like sports here.
Are you correcting him?
But it was used a lot.
Actually.
Actually,
I believe they call it Pop Warner.
But it's opened up a lot of things. There's a fellow who owns a pizza business, and we've talked to him a few times. He wants to kind of follow the same approach that the committee did and have a dog park. Have it down where the pavilion was at. So I mean,
that would be sick.
I mean that's it's going to be cold soon, but so I like that it's inspiring people to be more active and not just complaining or sitting and waiting. So
it's a perfect spot to do festival stuff as well, with the skate park next to it, have a bunch of food trucks, put up a stage, that type of stuff in the summer would be really cool. But it's a really sick spot.
I do think the timing of when that was announced, was around the time that there was a lot of talk about Lberty Park and what was going to happen. And so I think there was some misconceptions about, the city decided they're just going to do the skate park there, or there was a lot, you're going to take out the pool, which isn't in operation at this point, and put a skate park in, or the city, they decided to put all this money into the skate park. And so, again, I just think those headlines were so close together. I think it got a little bit confused. So I think it's important to call out that, this is these guys raising this money, and not that the city's not supportive. They certainly are, but it's really them. And there's still certainly a larger conversation that we all need to have about the parks, not just Lberty.
For sure.
Well, it's amazing what kind of ideas people get in their heads when they just look on the internet, without actually doing any research in general. So I'm glad people are rumoring the wrong things about a skate park. That's awesome. That's great. So what's next for the parks, but Lberty in general? Do you guys have? I know, like you said, they're taking out the pool. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the pool is not operational. Okay. There's no plan that I'm aware of to remove it at this point. But certainly, I attended the meeting that night. That was at Lberty. And as I've, been out meeting people this year while I was campaigning, parks are for sure a big worry for people. They feel like we're missing the mark on that, and I would agree. I think the parks were closed for a number of years. I want to say it was like 8, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And so
that's a long time.
Yeah. And so the city, I think, has been trying to make up for that time, and they have probably invested more money than people realize.
Yeah.
But we have so many parks. It's been it's a little harder to notice, I think. So and they gave some to the land bank. They offloaded some parks. Most of them were small, kind of neighborhood things, with one exception. But I heard that loud and clear. So parks are going to be a focus. They did a master plan, the city did. It was around the time we were doing Mansfield Rising. So I think there's a plan there. We just need to strategize and prioritize and then figure out funding. But parks, in my opinion, are one part of the city budget we should be able to get some outside funding in for. You can't always get a grant for some other projects, but I think parks and either grants, private citizens donating to businesses as well. I think there's a lot of room there. So that's something that I'm hoping to do, and I think I'd like to see it in all parts of the city. We're not going to be able to do it in every park at the same time. There's just not enough money and time and people. But if we can prioritize in all parts of the city, where we can make bigger investments more noticeable, I think that will help. And then talking about it too. When we report at council meetings, what's happened, what's the new things I think that helps people to understand where their tax dollars are going and how they're being spent. So
out of sight, out of mind. Ruins these kinds of pushes real quickly.
And it goes hand in hand with what we're seeing this year with youth violence and youth boredom. So I think the parks, I remember the parks past few years being brought up quite a bit as a top 5 issue. Now it's definitely with, top maybe 1 with violence and trash. But, I think there's a lot of inexpensive ways to create programs for those ages 14 to 18 years old. It won't be overnight, but I think that it's brought a lot of people together who are doing stuff for that the age range, and so people are being more creative and collaborative. So I'm hoping that's something we'll see change in the summertime, and that the community understands, hey, it might not happen overnight. Every single park needs some work, but you have a role too, so what would you like to do to help out?
Right. Well, and again, case in point, the skate park,
Yeah, exactly.
For, 2 reasons. One, again, there's just not anything for kids to do downtown in general, especially with the age of internet world. Kids either don't want to go outside or they want to be getting in trouble, typically. And so, that also, and then coupled with the skate park, again, is an idea that somebody had and they worked towards it, and you guys just gave them the vehicle that they
well, speaking of skating, I'm not from Mansfield, but I know the roller skating rink was we're working with some developers on Westinghouse, and they say, well, how about a roller skating rink out there? So skating seems to be the
interesting.
Everyone talks about that roller skating rink.
Mansfield and roller skating are, it's a natural combination. I was a big roller skater as a kid forever.
I need a video of that.
That's all I hear about was the skate rink, man. And we're working with someone who's from the area, who was reading the Westinghouse articles, who's kind of in that sphere of development, and he reached out and he jokingly says, we need to bring a roller skating rink back.
We totally do.
We do.
Look at these two over here.
I have family members from here, and the roller skating rink is kind of just this it's on a pedestal in their minds. Everybody that I know,
and even young people. There's folks who are actually wearing actual roller skates, and they're skating around. So that's a resurgence of that is huge.
On the street corners in the summer.
Just
kind of old school disco.
And our skating coliseum, when it was open, they had roller skates and rollerblades, and it was one night was youth night, hip hop night. It was just something for everyone.
It's in our genes here,
man. They love the roller skate.
I'm not. I know. We want a pool.
Oh, they want a pool.
And we want a roller rink, and we will not be happy until we get both of those.
I wasn't a big roller skater.
I love going there.
It wasn't huge.
Because they had arcade inside.
In the school.
Food court.
In the school.
Yeah. And it was something to do outside the winter time, because
because that's the hard thing as well, is what are the things for kids to do? Instead of being cooped up.
But So I'm excited. Then, what is Brennan's upcoming skate shop? Is it Brass House Boardroom? Board as in skateboard. So I'm excited about that happening.
Is that going to be a physical location?
It's going to be in the former.
It's right next door.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right next door?
Well, Uncommon Nostalgia, their original spot.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, did they move over to
Boot Life? Yep. So they'll be next door. Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Then you have Flight Fins with Ori. So just a lot of things.
Is he putting stuff in the skate shop?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool if he could have some of his Flight Fins at
I know him and Lee always talk about like buying like a studio space for film while also selling Flight Fin stuff out of the store.
So cool.
Right, so that'd be really cool if he put stuff in there. When's do we know when he's supposed to be getting everything moved in Brass House at all? Or?
Yeah, actually, I just saw them today at the ribbon cutting for Uncommon Nostalgia. So they're thinking early January.
Nice.
Yeah, so
cool.
Could be my first ribbon cutting as a mayor.
Nice. Yay!
Not my first ribbon cutting.
First ribbon cutting
Right.
mayor ever.
See,
They're
they're all laughing at me.
She'll have her knee pads on in her skateboard.
I need knee pads just because I'm old at this point. My knees are broken.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Be Queen Elizabeth's first ribbon cutting, so I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Coronation.
I mean, she may get called Queen Elizabeth or coronation. I mean, just look at.
She's like, why am I talking to
Very
these
mad
people?
right now. You can't see me if you're listening to this.
I'm gonna clip that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm friends with that.
Typical hangout. Poor Jody.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh,
It's award season, man. It's award season.
Yeah.
So anything else news-wise exciting with I think we covered everything Skatepark wise right now, unless you guys think of anything else.
Just along those lines, and this is where probably people stop listening to the podcast. After Westinghouse, there's movement there. Had a group from Boston. They're doing a technical analysis, which they come in and look at the feasibility study for that site. I mean, we haven't had this much real estate come online in downtown Mansfield in a while, right?
Wow.
And as we look to expand the area, and
it's not already bought.
I mean, and there is talk of doing sort of activities to draw that to the site. Another communities kind of did something similar to Weston. They started out with beach volleyball, I think, and cornhole, and then came a few restaurants. Now there's going to be apartments and a brewery. That's not to say we're doing that out there, but the talk is driving activity to the site in some capacity, even if it's just informal. Next year, we hope. But
that's exciting. In my mind, I keep thinking like in the next few years, that's going to be like the new downtown. I don't know why. I just keep thinking like whatever happens, it's going to just link the current downtown, and I don't know. The fact that all those buildings are gone and there's opportunity for it. I mean, it's a good thing, and I think people understand that now. I don't know. I'm just like excited about the new chapter Mansfield with our new mayor and new school board member. So just and then everyone else who was elected.
there's other,
all the other.
All the others. No, I think it's just because I think it takes a lot of heart and courage to want to campaign, but I think everyone who was elected,
unless you go out of the country in the middle of a campaign, and then you're really grinding.
Not sure what you're talking about.
I think it's exciting. I think when I've seen like people like your age, Tom, and Gage's age, younger, finally, and actually paying attention to things happening locally and realizing that there's a lot more value in focusing on local government than just national, and they're understanding the roles of commissioner and council and school board and how they can be a part of that. And so I do like that change a lot. It's something I didn't think we'd see because voter turnout's always been so low, but I think that's going to usher in with a new mayor and everything else. So
well, I mean, who knew that you guys just opening the doors for the committee to do what they've done at the skate park, how much word of mouth and internet promotion that would be for local government, seeing how easily that, obviously there were hoops, but it seemed like a pretty painless process overall, just actually getting that done. That's huge promotional for
giving a crap about downtown.
Yeah.
You know, if you're my age or younger.
I think people often think that local government, local officials are even more difficult to get a hold of and to work through how things work, or people don't want to come and ask questions because they feel like they should know and maybe they don't, or, you know, they're just awkward asking questions. But I find that, like, often when I get questions from people or they need help with things, it's a lot easier than they think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And there's people that can help. Right. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's one of, so, I mean, whoever it is, like, there's people that can help you through things. So if you've got an idea or a project or a group or a passion, like, there's ways to connect in and people that can help you, because we all want what's best for the community. Mansfield, Richland County, all of it. We want entrepreneurship to grow. We want young people to get connected. We need to grow new leaders. I mean, we're all very young here at the table, but basically, you know, we do have one millennial, but, you know, we want to see new people grow. We want to see new leadership, young leadership.
Absolutely.
So we're invested in engaging and growing and mentoring that, because, you know, we don't want the work that we're doing to go away, and we want new perspectives too. Like, we don't want to be at the table ourselves. We want other people here to do stuff that's a new generation, new ideas, new perspectives. So it's a win-win for everyone, really.
Right. Absolutely.
And make no mistake, I mean, obviously, I hope the listeners will, I mean, we all genuinely like each other. And it is fun when we are together. But oftentimes when we are together, believe it or not, because we all kind of, you know, whether it was the skate park, it's whatever the topic of the day was, right? Westinghouse, skate park. If you see us together, oftentimes Main Street project for you guys, right? The Main Street improvement project coming for up. Bob, Jennifer, and Jody was huge. So yes, we are having fun for sure, but we are talking a lot because all of our work crosses paths, and especially with you know, Jody taking over as mayor. Not that we didn't work with you at the chamber. I mean. We're talking about work, and it helps us to say, oh, hey, I mean, I got a phone call about Final Friday not that long. I got this great band. Here, let me loop you into to JK. Or, you know, with us knowing each other, it's a lot easier to just forward it on. So there is a lot of good, we hope, and we believe, coming out of this unlikely friendship, so to speak.
Super group. People, you know.
So, yeah, it's a good time.
Any words, Mayor? Madame Mayor?
Oh boy, I don't know where to. I would just say,
done a podcast
not with you, but as mayor, no. This is my first podcast as mayor-elect.
You're Oprah status.
I mean, I was thinking as you guys were kind of talking just about generally what's happening in the community. I think there is. You know, we're facing some really serious problems, you know, and the problem of violence, it's not just overnight, but, you know, from when I started the campaign to now, it certainly has risen up to be a much larger issue than it was even a year ago. So there are very serious problems that we got to address. But I also think there's a lot of reasons for people to be optimistic. There's a lot of people working together, not just us. We have lots of other people that are at the table that want to work together to solve real issues. I always think too that, you know, we kind of saw this during Mansfield Rising, but people, they want to help in this community. They really do. And, you know, sometimes it's about getting them plugged into the right spot. But there really is a good sense of people ready to roll up their sleeves and help. And I think that's a reason that gives me some optimism. And, you know, Tony teases me about the Team Mansfield concept, but I did use that very purposely because at the end of the day, you know, if we want the community to really be revitalized, it's not about an elected official. It's not about just a single business owner. It's really about all of us figuring out how can we contribute to that overall revitalization. And so, you know, again, I think friendships like this, building collaborative working partnerships are going to be really the key to that. And, you know, my optimism from going on the campaign trail, which was eye-opening in many ways, but is that I think people are ready. They're ready to see that happening. And so I'm excited about what's ahead, though taking it seriously because I know there's a lot of tough things.
Yeah.
Amen.
If you didn't notice, if you were to vote, who's most likely to enjoy a company board retreat, it would be Jody Perry. We were just talking about that outside the studio before we recorded a podcast. So we tease her a little bit about
Leslie, no. That's
Oh my gosh.
She's
Ooh, a retreat. Let's go. Where's the disc?
Get to know each other.
Where's the personality disc? Trustful.
I'm like, where's the bar?
Oh my gosh. Jody loves a plan, man. I mean, you can't, obviously, I'm like, let's go, let's do this. Jody's like, wait,
Hold on.
we need a plan. Now we need a plan. We need to get 8,000 people together to discuss how we're going to put the plan together, and then we'll. Oh my gosh, can never have enough people in
Trapper
the
keeper.
I'll bet you had. Did you have a trapper keeper?
I have one.
And no one under the.
still has
I have
You
one.
still have your.
Taking
I know
city
everyone
council.
under the age of about 40 right now. is
The
going,
mayor
"What's
makes fun of it.
Did you have a trapper keeper, Tom?
I did in middle school.
I had a
Did you?
trapper keeper. Yeah. Who didn't have a trapper keeper, right? Did you have one, JK?
I don't know. That
You
was
want-
a blur. I was roller skating.
She was roller skating her way through.
She's counterculture, so she might not.
I
have,
probably didn't
just
have a
'cause
trapper
she,
keeper.
It was cool.
She doesn't want to go along with what everyone else does.
Too popular. I didn't want one.
La Raj was taking up all her time.
Oh
I was
yeah.
busy in my band.
Yeah, did you know Jennifer
Minding
was
my
the
own
lead singer?
business.
No.
In a girl band.
Well, we were all lead singers.
They're all.
She was what we call a main character. Okay, she's definitely.
Just
a main
think like
character.
Expose. Who else? Kind of
Wilson
Wilson
Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah, yeah. They had embroidered merch.
Embroidered.
Fun fact:
that
Jennifer
is
Kine was
something.
part of a girl group.
Look at her.
The
she's like,
trio.
Yeah, I know.
Any reunions?
It's true. Oh,
We're lobbying.
gosh.
Yes.
I hope not, for everyone's sake.
Just a special one night only Final Friday.
Final Friday with her
If
asymmetric
anyone has any
bob.
video of Laraj, you can send that to either Jody or Tony.
Yeah.
We would love to see
Oh,
that.
please reach out to me. Email me if there's video for love. Please.
I think our last performance was as a backup group at the Renaissance, on stage at the Renaissance. That was our
Sick.
last. That was our
I mean,
swan song.
JK was. A
Yeah, we're like,
huge-
we should just we should stop now.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
they're
it
no-
only goes to
That was their North Central Ohio.
limits.
Their North Central Ohio tour.
You had what? A band, a blog, a weekly column in the newspaper. I mean, you're kind of a big deal. You're definitely a main character. for
Was.
sure.
was.
Says the lady who just won a school board election,
Yep.
right?
By
Yeah,
by
so-
99%.
And small nonprofit.
And
of the
small
year.
nonprofit of the year.
Oh,
too,
congratulations.
Right?
Oh,
It is.
It's cute.
Well, yeah, large, small nonprofit.
Well, actually.
Actually,
If you
Yeah,
haven't
you're right.
noticed this side of the table, it's definitely, as we said, award season for
award
the
season.
ladies at the table over there.
Yeah.
Do better, guys.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah. Come on, you two.
Underachievers.
Let's go,
We're
parents.
just supporting roles.
Yeah, we are not main characters.
Please.
We've also had main character rankings as well, and Jody usually shakes out at the top of that. I think Aurelio's number 2.
I'm number 5, I think. So,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty. I
Tony's
stay out the
mean,
limelight.
That's just what you mean.
Farrell? No,
I know. I'm sweet.
everybody.
Sons of
talks-
Italy.
Sons of Italy. Sons
He's
of
the
Italy.
villain.
I'm the villain. Thanks, guys.
Everybody everywhere loves Tony.
Yeah.
Loves when he's around.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I could think of a few people that would disagree with you on that. So.
Mostly your wife.
Oh, I think my daughter still likes me, but Melanie, you're probably right. If she's listening, she's like, yeah, I can see that. So.
No, but thank you, Tom, because I mean, we're talking about like people's roles and how they can. But you've been doing it so on a larger scale. I mean, you're shedding light on people and art and culture and businesses. So you're ahead of the game. So, Team Mansfield, Tom, thank you. Yeah.
That's the best. Man.
There's
Love you.
many ways we can do it.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, no, this is sick. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank
Also,
you.
chickens. We want chickens.
Backyard chicken.
Gosh,
I want
chickens.
chickens back. Me and my wife, we're planning on getting a petition
you.
ready. Once we finish moving into our apartment, we're very serious. We
Yeah,
want chickens
I mean, we
badly.
mentioned it.
So, Just wait, we're coming for you guys for chicken.
I was gonna say it's city council decision. Actually,
so to be and I know that one of our newly elected councilwomen in Ward 6, Deb Mount, she really was. She was advocate for that as well a few years ago. So I think times change, and it's about what the people want too. So obviously it's a process.
There's a city in Belgium that gave everybody in their city a chicken, or up to 3 chickens if they wanted them. Okay, it knocked. I think it was like it was close to 100,000 tons of food waste. Knocked it, completely took care of it, and I forget the time frame. I think it was within 6 months or something like that. Just by having chickens, so that you could throw your food out to them instead of just throwing it away.
So garbage.
A lot of massive benefits that chickens actually bring to a community in those ways that people don't realize. So anyway, that's all I got.
That was a good plug.
I love chickens. Anyway,
I like chickens too.
Thank you guys. Anything else? You guys plug your Instagrams or something? I don't know, where people can. Yeah, there we go. That's a more official way.
There you go.
Instagram, so people know where they can reach out if they do have any projects or anything that they would like to work out for you guys. If you guys have that stuff, or emails, whatever you got.
I don't know what
I have Aurelio Diaz, Councilman, Ward 5. I have Facebook and Instagram, and I have TikTok. TikTok's more for my dancing, So.
The dancing councilman.
You have to give back to the community, so that's my artistic integrity. But I have Facebook, Instagram. That's cool because, right, with my hips. But that's been a good tool for people to reach out who I don't know if they have ideas and complaints and stuff. But
you want to go?
I will eventually have city contact info and a more official. Right now, it's my campaign stuff is still set up, but you can always get me at jodyperry2023@gmail.com. It's JODIE.
I'm terrible at social media. These 3 yell at me often. I don't ever post. I keep saying I'm going to do better. I don't. I just don't. Social media. I do have. So you can email me, vero at richlandcountyoh.us, and I will get back to you right away. As Thorne found out on that Sunday morning, I actually went fishing for his email. I was like, I got this. So we actually, some people think you don't get responses. I'm proud to say you're going to get a response.
You got Kermit the Frog?
It's my claim to fame. I have 0 emails in my work nor personal inbox. 0. I respond to them all.
I didn't.
And Cliff and Daryl do as well. So anyone out there listening who wants to develop Westinghouse, please reach out. That's our plug. And if you have any questions at all, not about chickens, feel free to email or call us.
I love chickens.
I love chickens.
So you can reach me, jenniferkeim@gmail.com, or I'm on Facebook or Instagram, Jen Kate. So, but it's downtown questions, business ideas, anything like that. Feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Perfect.
Historic buildings. You like to rehab a building?
Holly history, as Tony calls her.
Just piss off Vero. Historic buildings.
Yes, please.
We love buildings.
Love buildings.
Mansfield really does.
I mean, this is the girl, Tom, who got the land bank anniversary cookies changed because she felt you're just tearing. You're like, your cookies were demolished buildings. She literally is such an activist. She had cookies changed for the 10-year.
Look, it was a 5-year anniversary party. It was awesome. I love the land bank. They had a tray of cookies and they were demolished houses. And I was like,
brilliant.
I know.
Wait a second.
X's on the windows.
There were X's on the. I was like, can we also?
Whose idea was that?
That's
It wasn't a joke. That's I was like, can we also promote preservation?
I mean,
So the 10-year had both.
She's such an Antioch girl. She's like, you have to have better cookies. I'm like, we're protesting cookies.
She's like,
now.
first of all,
it's like we're just fighting over cookies, and it actually just came up today. So she literally had the cookies at our land bank 10-year anniversary change because they
I just
offended her.
suggested that maybe we could also promote preservation, not just demolition.
so and Jen brings in the grassroots organic vibe of the
That's
friendship.
correct.
The granola.
I mean,
I'm not a vegan, but I do make my own granola, and I get they stopped in my office today, and I was eating some yogurt with granola. They're like, "What are you even eating?"
I don't even know.
It's yogurt
in her
with
parfait.
But it's in like this
granola.
perfect mason. I'm like, can't you just put the granola in the yogurt container? I mean,
Can I just put the granola and the yogurt in another container
and
so I
for
can
the
mix them up
record,
together?
if Jennifer says suggestion, that means you should do this. And if also if she looks at you and says, I'm happy for you, that's also code for I'm happy that you think that, but let me tell you where you're wrong.
Just telling all our secrets.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm happy for you, but so the suggestion. I love that journey for you. Yes,
I've been using that lately.
I love that
I love that journey for you.
So she suggested to myself and Amy Hamrick on the land bank that we get better cutout cookies.
Yeah.
So we had to change our cutout cookies.
So your journey included.
Yeah, my journey included
Preservation.
cookie preservation.
And we love that journey for you.
And we really appreciated it.
We need to get her some cookies that say "I love that journey."
I love that journey.
Yep.
That'd be perfect. All right. Anything else, guys? Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for having us.
I know.
Yeah.
This is good.
Cut us off.
Just let Tony hang himself with
It's all good stuff.
Good stuff. Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for another episode of Open Mic Podcast. Me, your host, Tom Hirst, brought to you by Richland Source, Newsroom After Hours. Fake sponsored by Two Cousins Pizza, Henry Screen Printing, and Potent Studios.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for doing nothing for me, and I love you anyways. No, that's not true. Lee has helped me with many, and that's not true. But Mansfield, Ohio is the greatest city in the continental US.
It is.
Guys, thanks for
Amen.
having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I love that journey for you.
I love that journey for you. It's how you say it, too.